Hey there, it's 11 o'clock and we're ready to get started. Really thrilled that folks have joined us today. We're going to have a really great talk by Chris from the team at our partner Breach Secure Now. And our title is AI is Changing Cybersecurity. Is your team ready or falling behind? And Chris, it's so great to have you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, good morning. I'm really happy to be on today. We have an exciting topic, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we've been kind of security first for a very long time. And I was just looking up today. So the Massachusetts data protection law went into place in March of 2010.
Yeah,
And it's hard to believe, wow, 15 years ago. And I just read this week. So initially, folks said, oh, well, the law has no teeth in it. And one of the requirements is cybersecurity awareness training for all businesses in Massachusetts. 15 years of that. And initially, folks say, "Oh, there's no teeth in this law. There's no." But I just read this month the Attorney General uh, just secured a $795,000 settlement against a property management company that wasn't following the rules. So we're really big on. There's 8 technical requirements in the Mass Data Security Law.
yeah,
Cybersecurity awareness is one of them. And wow, AI changes everything. So
yeah.
I'm going to turn it over to you, Chris.
Yep. Big implications with AI in terms of cybersecurity and going along with what you were just talking about with Mass's law. They were one of the first to pass cybersecurity regulation like that. Colorado actually just passed an AI cybersecurity regulation, I think in the past day or so. And
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's going to have big implications. It's Colorado, but I think just like we saw those cybersecurity regulations roll across the country, I think something similar is going to happen with AI cybersecurity as well, and making sure
Yeah.
that those systems are secure. So big implications, and that's kind of our topic today with AI and how it's changing
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
And just as you mentioned that, just things are changing so fast. I read an article this morning. So lots of people are talking about vibe coding, like the new way
Yeah,
anybody can write code, and it's just immediately turned into vibe hacking. So that was an article in The Verge this morning. So it's interesting times, and we really want to make sure, like our community gets the most from the technology they have. So the training doesn't do anything unless you actually engage in the training, and really want to make sure that people adopt AI in a safe way.
yeah. So that's exactly what we can focus on today. The deck that I have kind of built out here, AI is changing cybersecurity. We'll talk a little bit about cybersecurity and AI, kind of where AI is today and how it does affect cybersecurity. What are the risks, but also what are the benefits and how can our platform, Breach Secure Now, help you guys with general education and you guys at Ekaru, how you guys all help with
Yeah.
cybersecurity awareness and the knowledge that they have to make sure that your clients are secure. So we'll
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah, and our entire community is on this platform. And one of the things I look at the ESS scores, so that's the employee security scores and the company security scores, and I really want folks to. Hopefully, it's going to motivate people to really engage, because that's when the training actually works. When you got
absolutely,
to
yeah.
do it.
Yep, and we'll throw in some tips and tricks along the way too of how we've seen people get engaged on the platform, get their employees to engage too. So we can definitely do that. So.
Good.
Brief introduction from me. My name is Chris Gross. I've been with Breach Secure now for about 7 years. My role now is our Senior AI Product Officer. So what I do is I'm mainly focused on helping partners and our clients build out AI in their own businesses, give knowledge about how AI is affecting the market today. I build out also our internal team for AI. So anything that we do at Breach Secure now, we help create those use cases so we can share those with you all, our partners, and our clients too. So we can give some of the use cases and examples of how we use AI internally, and hopefully that helps you guys find new use cases and just new knowledge there. The theme today, AI is changing cybersecurity. It absolutely has a lot of effects in cybersecurity, and we'll jump into those in a second. But for those of you that are asking, what is AI really? I have heard the buzzword, but I don't know what AI is. You guys probably are using AI today, and we see it super prevalent, right? Even if you just do a Google search today, that answer box that pops up, that's AI, right? That's AI generated. There's a button at the bottom that says go into AI mode, and you can continue that conversation with that AI chatbot. A lot of people, very popular tool, ChatGPT is another one. A lot of people are using that tool. And I think probably some of your clients and yourself, you might be using Copilot or some version of the Copilot, Microsoft 365. These tools are super prevalent. And one of the things with these tools is they're prevalent, they're used heavily because they are so beneficial. We use them for so many things at Breach Secure now. I use them in my personal life just to help me be more productive, get things done faster, get things done more effectively. So they're very powerful, but with that power comes some risks. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, and I love the metaphor that Art, your CEO, uses about having an intern, because I use my AI intern all day long to look stuff up, explain stuff all day long. So
that's exactly what it is. Like a personal assistant, AI personal assistant, or AI intern. And if you've ever had a assistant or an intern before, it's really how you interact with that person, right? It's a very human interaction, and that's the same way that you interact with AI. So we can kind of jump into that and how that affects cybersecurity too here. So jump into the next slide here, and just to kick this off on before I jump into the rest of who Breach Secure now is and what we do, I want to just talk about some of the risks of AI. We're just talking about all these benefits, but along with that comes some risks. And there's two sides of the coin here when it comes to risks with AI. The first one is the risks of how people in your organization are using this today, how employees are using it today. We see that about 90% of organizations, this is actually a new report and updated stat for you guys. MIT just released a report on AI this year, and in that report, it said that 90% of organizations have employees that are utilizing some type of AI, and that could be, Gemini and Google Search, right? That could be the free version of ChatGPT. That could be Perplexity. All these tools that are out there, some add-ons to your browser. 90% of organizations have some AI use, but only 40% of organizations have a paid-for secure version of that AI tool, which is super important. If you're using one of these free AI tools, most likely the model that you're using, the AI tool that you're using, is actually getting trained on the information you put into it, which puts your information at risk. So if I put in company IP or client information into that tool, it could potentially get compromised. And that's one of the biggest risks for organizations, as well as, if I'm putting in client information to that tool and I don't have proper security like SSO, if I don't have multi-factor authentication, things like that to protect my account, that information could also get breached if people get access to it. So that's one of the biggest risks here, is what we call shadow AI. It's basically people in your organization today utilizing these tools without proper authorization. It's a unapproved tool within your organization. So that's one of the biggest risks, is how people in your organization are using it. The second side of the coin here is how the cyber criminals are using it. Just like I said, it makes my job easier. It makes cyber criminals' jobs easier as well. And you mentioned this before, we were talking just before the call, right? We used to always teach at Breach Secure Now, one of the ways that you identify a phishing email is look for grammatical issues. That's not something that we educate on at all anymore, because honestly, with AI, these cyber criminals have the ability to create perfectly grammatically correct emails every time. And that's just scratching the surface with the power that they get from these AI tools. Some of the things that they can do now, and some of the things that we educate on, they can go and impersonate people. There's something called deep fakes, and deep fakes are basically the ability for me to create a video that looks like Anne, sounds like Anne, but it's not Anne, right? And these are getting better and better every year, and you can launch some pretty sophisticated social engineering attacks, scams against people by impersonating somebody that well. So a year ago, the videos from AI weren't that great. These impersonations weren't that great. This year, they are a lot better. And next year, they're going to be that amount better, 10 times over. So it's definitely a big risk there.
I've heard the expression, the AI you're using today is the worst AI you'll ever use.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's one of the things that we'll talk about too, why we recommend ongoing education on these tools, because they're constantly changing, constantly getting updated. And a lot of times it's updating for good, but along with that, the more power that goes into these tools, the more cyber criminals can leverage them for malicious activities, which is
Yeah.
how technology works. We got to always work both sides of the coin. Is how can I use this effectively, but at the same time, how can I protect against the threats that come with
Yeah.
it? So this is just a high level of risk. We'll get back to AI and basically how you guys can start to mitigate some of these risks. But I want to just jump into a little bit of Breach Secure Now and what we do to help protect you guys and what we do just as a business, what our focus is. For those of you that don't know, or those of you that just need a refresher, Breach Secure Now is an employee education company. We educate employees of how to use technology securely and effectively. So we've educated over 35,000 businesses. We've trained over 1 million employees. We've done 10 years of cybersecurity training, but we are now expanded into beyond cybersecurity training into AI, security, and productivity training. The goal of this is to boost ROI for your company, create better business outcomes, and overall job satisfaction while also protecting your business. This is extremely human focused. Your humans are the greatest asset in your organization. We create a human firewall to help protect your organization while at the same time empowering them to be more productive. You need to have both in order to have the best training in your organization. You got to be educated on how to use these tools effectively and use them securely. If you're doing one without the other, there's a little bit of a gap there. That's our big focus at Breach Secure Now, is bridging that gap.
I love that phrase, the human firewall. Because
Yeah.
that's, I mean, what does don't click on a suspicious email even mean anymore, right?
Right. Yep. And it's, and it's like what we were just talking about with technology. It's these technologies constantly getting better, which means cyber criminals are constantly ahead. They have the latest and greatest in technology to be able to use. And the last line of defense is always going to be people, right? It always comes down. You can have the best cybersecurity, which you absolutely need, but in the end, it comes down to there will be the 0 day that comes in where somebody needs to go look at that email and say, is that dangerous? Is it not? What can I do to protect myself, my organization?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so jumping a little bit into what we actually do at Breach Secure Now. I mentioned this before, right? We are training on how to use technology securely and effectively. What that leads to is a ton of content to train your staff. What we have is 4 pillars at Breach Secure Now that we educate in: cybersecurity, AI awareness, productivity, and compliance. We focus in cybersecurity. We have continuous education for cybersecurity. We have annual trainings, AI awareness. We have multiple courses that we'll kind of touch on later to help people learn the basics of AI, how they use it effectively and securely, as well as we have weekly trainings that we call nanos, which are 60-second tips and tricks to keep you up to date. Ongoing education is super important with a changing environment like AI. Productivity training is Microsoft 365, which I believe a lot of you guys are using already. Microsoft 365 training, again, how to use it effectively, but also what are the risks and scams that happen in Microsoft 365, what you need to know. And then compliance, we do have HIPAA compliance training, as well as a risk assessment that's available to you guys too. This content that we have on our platform is all going to be content that we call infotainment. This is one of the big things that we focus on at Breach Secure Now. You guys see the title, the breach here, which is our latest annual training, but we do full movie production style trainings. They're not long, that's not what I mean by movie production, but these are 20-minute trainings that are built out. We have a full production crew that actually just went down to Houston for our 2026 training. They will have real actors in it, real people. There's no cartoons in it. This is all focused on trying to keep people engaged with the training while at the same time educating them. So our content team likes to call that infotainment.
Yeah, I like that. I want to be an extra one day. That's my dream.
Yeah, we can make that happen for you.
All right.
We make that happen. Yeah. Awesome. So if you guys have not checked out the updated content recently and seen our annual training, definitely check it out. We have gotten better and better with the content that we deliver. Our cybersecurity training this year and the HIPAA compliance training was awesome. It was a lot of fun to put that together. But all of this is built in-house. We do our own content. It's one of the things that we're extremely proud of at BSN. So definitely check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, and it's almost September, so and I can go over anybody in our community if you want me to go over the company score, but yeah, it's going to be 2026 soon. You got to finish the 2025 training.
Yep, absolutely. Get that done. So I mentioned this before, but ongoing training is one of the things that we are extremely focused on at BSN. Once a year training is never enough and goes for a couple of reasons. First one is technology is constantly changing. And if I train you in the beginning of the year what cybersecurity threats are or how to use a certain tool, by the end of the year, that's not going to be as relevant. Things change, new things pop up. So we want to make sure that ongoing training is a core piece of what you guys have so you guys can stay up to date in what the latest and greatest is in the technology and the tools that you're using, while at the same time, what are also the latest threats. So that's one reason why we believe in ongoing training. The other reason why is it actually works. If you were going to, and we have some stats up here, but if you're going to really train and educate people and you want them to upskill themselves, protect your organization, and also to learn new things, the best way that we found, and the studies prove it, is through short trainings that are ongoing and regular. So just some stats here. We can read one of these repeated short lessons reduce phishing clicks by 50 to 66% and drive higher long-term knowledge retention. Compared to one-time phishing campaign or one-time training, if you do regular short lessons, it really does help reduce phishing clicks. Here's one just from Breach Secure Now. Employees who received weekly micro training lessons scored 25 to 40% higher on follow-up security quizzes compared to those with annual training alone. So the stats are real when it comes to ongoing training. We do this in two forms. We have micro trainings in cybersecurity that come out on a weekly basis. You guys have probably seen these emails come out. This is going to be a 1 to 2 minute video followed by a 4-question quiz. That's equated to the employee security score. We'll talk about that a bit later here into how we gamify our platform. The other way that we do ongoing training is through nanos, and nanos are going to be 60-second quick hits tips on a wide variety of topics, but those 4 pillars that I was talking about before, they'll be in either cybersecurity, Microsoft 365, AI, or HIPAA compliance as well. And those nanos, those are going to be coming out every week as well. So you guys will see one quick tip in each one of those 4 areas every week. So we're constantly trying to put out new content, quick tips, while at the same time not taking up a lot of time. We don't ask for more than 5 minutes a week when it comes to training. That's why these are all quick, easy, and we'll talk about how we make it easy for you guys to go and actually interact with that training as well. So jumping right into that, this is, for those of you that don't know, we have an end user facing platform. So you guys all have access to log into this platform. Your employees have access to log into this platform. And we try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to go and interact with your training and take it. One of the things that we do is make the time that the training actually takes to complete shorter, right? Like I said, 5 minutes a week. But at the same time, we also try to make the platform as accessible as possible. Some of the ways that we do that is with single sign-on, so you have the ability to enable this on your platform if you'd like, but single sign-on allows you to be able to log in without having to enter your password every time. It just makes it easier to get into the browser version. Catchfish is another way to make it easy for you to take your training. Catchfish is an Outlook add-on, and we can show that in a bit if we have time, but it's an Outlook add-on that allows you to take your training right from Outlook. And at the same time, it also allows you to identify simulated phishing emails and get training on real emails to help identify, are they phishing or are they not? That is an awesome tool to help you guys with continued education, but also the accessibility aspect allows you guys to take training from your Outlook. So you can do that on the mobile version of Outlook when you're on your browser, or if you're just on your desktop version of Outlook, you can get access to that app. The last one here, and probably the biggest one when it comes to accessibility that we've seen successful, is our Microsoft BSN Teams app. So if you guys have Microsoft Teams, this is a great application to add into Microsoft Teams. It makes it much easier to access the platform, and you can get notifications on on when new training is available. So this is a really powerful tool. If you guys don't use Teams today, this might be a reason just to go and implement Teams, just to be able to get these training notifications. Really simple for you guys once you set it up, really simple for you guys to interact with. And if we have a couple minutes, I can actually give a quick demo of what that looks like in Teams.
Yeah, sure. That'd be really cool. And I just want to encourage, we want to make sure folks are getting as much out of Microsoft 365. So Teams is a really powerful piece of that. It doesn't cost any extra to enable Breach Secure Now to run through Teams. So if you live in Teams, so yeah, let's see if we can get a quick demo.
So I love when I'm in person to be able to demo this on my phone, because it is available on the mobile version of Teams. It's a little bit difficult to do, so I'll show you guys the desktop version. But this is available right on your phone, which is really cool. So if say that you're just on your way home from work, you're on the train or something like that, and you have 2 minutes, you can go and finish that training right away. You can go get the quick tip, the nanos, right away. You don't even need to log into the desktop version here. You don't need to log into a browser. You can do this really quickly. So I usually take my trainings right from my phone. If you're working during the day, you have 2 minutes, 5 minutes in the week, right? You can go in here too and take your training requirements. Really easy. So this is the Microsoft Teams environment, and you'll see I have an application right here for Breach Secure Now. When I click into it, this gets you right to the platform where you can take your trainings. From here as well, you'll also get notifications. So I have an activity panel here. Every time a new training is available, whether that's a nano or micro training, you're going to see that pop up in the activity panel too. And you can click on that notification and you can jump right into that training. So it makes it really easy to interact with. What I'm showing you right now, we can do just a high level of what a platform looks like. You will immediately get to your dashboard when you log into this. The dashboard, the first eye grabber here is the ESS score, or Employee Secure Score. The Employee Secure Score, it's out of 800 points. It's kind of like a credit score. The closer to 800 you are, the better you're doing on the platform. So what goes into that score is, have you taken your annual training? How often you taking micro trainings? That's going to increase your score. We have additional extra credit trainings in Microsoft 365 and AI. All of those things will increase your score. Your score is going to go down though if you have phishing emails that you clicked on, simulated phishing emails, or if your emails on the dark web. That brings your score down, and you're going to have to do some extra trainings in order to get your score back up. So we normally recommend, staying in that good range, that above that 630. We usually recommend
green is good.
Requirement there. Yep, exactly. Green is good. So.
And our internal favorite is the leaderboard. We have a gold trophy that changes hands each month.
Yep, that is
for that top spot.
That's awesome. So I've heard so many ways that our partners incentivize, and people just on our platform in general incentivize people to do better on the platform. This leaderboard's super powerful. We do a gift card every month, but we have some partners that do trophies. We got some clients that are giving away prizes for being at the top. That's usually the best way to get people to interact, is make sure you're incentivizing them to get to the top of the leaderboard. It's kind of carrot and stick, right? You got to be above a 630. Everybody has to be above a 630. That's the minimum requirement. But if you get to the top, if you go above and beyond, you get rewarded. And that's one of the best ways to stay engaged.
Yeah, and the other thing to toss in, because we're seeing more and more folks who are going for CMMC certification or FTC safeguards, HIPAA, all different kinds of things that can get assessed, audited, and one of the things that an auditor is going to ask for is evidence. Like we're putting in our own evidence. We're doing a Global Technology Industry Association Cybersecurity Trust Mark that we're preparing for, and we do screenshots of our own evidence that we're actually doing the training, because that's what an auditor is going to look for.
Absolutely, yeah. And it is a great way to show you guys aren't only taking training once a year. You guys have regular training that you guys are taking on a regular basis. You guys have a program that you're adhering to for education in the company. So that's awesome. Yeah, and right from here, I can just poke around a little bit just to show you guys, you'll see ways to improve your ESS, but you also, if you jump straight to the training tab, you'll see all the available trainings. Taken a lot of mine on this account, but you can jump to completed courses and retake any of the courses. You can take your micro trainings from here. And then I'll also show you guys, I was talking about.
Sorry, I muted. I'm having a little allergic reaction to whatever dust is in here. But on the micro training, maybe rattle off a couple of the topics, because I think these are really good. These are the 3 minutes. And it's like over the course of a year, you're going to develop a big body of knowledge.
Yep. One of the new themes that we're doing this year is we're doing series just so in 1 month you can get educated on the topic. So Shadow IT is a big one that we did in June, which is all about, I was talking about this a little bit before with Shadow AI and unauthorized tools within your organization. That's exactly what Shadow IT is just the broader range of any unauthorized tools in an organization. Wearables could be things like smartwatches and how you can have breaches from wearable technologies. Critical infrastructure is just a broader topic, for manufacturing organizations out there, and just how to protect those kinds of organizations, and just in general, how to make sure that critical infrastructure in your business is safe. Yeah, so that's just a couple that there that are recent topics, but you guys can see just scrolling through here, we are constantly releasing new content. You guys can go through the repository too. And we always keep at least 80 of these micro trainings available for you guys to go take at any time.
And I see fake job recruitment scams. That's huge in the news right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that goes 2 ways, right, Ann? Like you have the fake job recruitment scams, and then for recruiters, they have people that have multiple jobs, right? Fake jobs that they're cheating in their interview. So we see both of those.
Yeah. Well, we actually saw a case locally that we were called in to help with, of a company that some bad actors had created an impersonated site for them and posted jobs, and then candidates they would collect social security numbers and the things that you would maybe collect in a job process, and they were impersonated in a pretty horrible way.
Yep. And those impersonation scams only get better and better. If they have heard you before talk, right? They heard you, Ann, and then they're able to impersonate your voice on that you call. That's a very powerful scam right there. So just things to look out for. But
yeah, and the more people on the team know, the less likely they are to fall for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so guys, this is the trains, and like Ann said, we'll just jump into one. It's 2 to 3 minutes long, followed by a 4-question quiz. So not a long time that we're asking to go take these, and just keeps you up to date on what you need to know, what's the latest in the news here, what's the latest that you need to be aware of in terms of scams that are out there. In addition to these micro trainings on the news feed, we have posts every week in those different topics that I was mentioning: Microsoft 365, cyber content, artificial intelligence. And again, these are all quick hits, less than 60 seconds, but these tips you'll get notified about in Teams. You can easily come in here and learn something new on how to protect yourself, how to better use AI, how to better use the Microsoft 365 subscription that you have, or for the HIPAA compliance clients out there, how to protect yourself in healthcare and HIPAA compliance. So this is a great way just to learn about a specific topic. Everything's tagged in here too. So you have the ability to actually click on hashtags and be able to filter on specific information and learn more information, and you can search too. So that is the Teams app. Highly recommend that you guys check that out if you have not already. Really easy way to interact with the platform. We've seen that people that are using Teams have over 100% better score than people that are not. It is a great way to drive engagement in your organization. We already talked about the ESS score, and you contributed to this too. This ESS score is really how we gauge success on the platform when it comes to cybersecurity. The higher, the better. We talked about gamification already. One of the things that you guys will see is that there's the individual employee secure score, which we were looking at mine on that account I was just showing you. The other thing that you'll have is a company overall employee secure score, which is the average of all of your employees. And this is a good way for you to gauge where your organization is at in general. So I highly recommend, if you haven't looked at yours in a while, go check it out, go see where your employees are on the leaderboard, set that minimum requirement, run the incentives to try to get them engaged on this. It's a great way to keep people engaged. So in addition to the cybersecurity training, all the trainings that we've been talking about, one of the big things that we have added to the platform in the past year and just expanded on in the past month is our AI awareness training suite. So what you have available in the platform today is our AI fundamentals and AI cybersecurity training. That's training on how to start to use these tools effectively, what's the basic of prompting, what's the basic of what these tools are and what they can do for you and your organization. And then AI cybersecurity is, how can I protect myself while using these tools? What's the correct way to be using these tools? Again, how do I make sure I'm using tools without compromising information? In addition to that, how can I protect myself against cyber criminals who are using those tools? So those are the fundamental training and cybersecurity training that gives you a good base. One of the things that you guys will have available to you starting next month, September 1st, is the rest of the 5 courses you see up here, which includes Copilot fundamentals and ChatGPT fundamentals. These are 2 of the most popular AI tools. This teaches you how to use them effectively, gives you guys the basic of how to use these effectively. We have AI skills in action, which is an intermediate AI course that goes on top of our fundamental course. We have an AI for healthcare course for the healthcare organizations out there. This is specific for our HIPAA clients, but this is how to use AI in healthcare and some things you need to know about AI in healthcare. And then for management level out there, we have AI for managers, which is just all about how you use AI in management, what you need to know about AI within a team. So all of these are going to be available September 1st on the platform. We're constantly adding new content. There's just one example of it and what's included in that suite. So jumping into kind of a little bit more about AI and the value of this training and the value of AI for your business in general, one of the things I want to kick this off with is I talked a lot about shadow AI before, or shadow IT, right? These are unapproved tools within your organization. These tools have a ton of value, and that's why your employees are using them, right? They're helping them increase efficiency. They're helping them save time. They're allowing them to do things that they couldn't do before. I personally use these tools all the time. It helps me prepare for any call that I get on before a partner. I can go and do research about the organization and make sure that I understand kind of what's new in the news for them. It's going to help me with writing all the time when I'm creating slide decks or outlines for a presentation. I'll go and use AI to help me write that. I use tools to help me build out slide deck prototypes before sending it to our marketing team. These are things I couldn't do before. It's not just that it saved me time. I just was not able to do these before. I didn't have the time to do it. I didn't have the expertise to do it. But using AI like a intern or AI assistant, I'm now able to do those things. So there's huge benefits to it. But people are using these free tools and potentially jeopardizing your data by using those. So the best way that we've seen in order to implement AI, or in order to mitigate those risks, is to actually implement these AI tools securely within your organization. So how we normally recommend doing that: get a paid for Copilot license, get a ChatGPT license, and make sure that you are getting a tool that has the proper security to protect the organization. ChatGPT, Copilot, they have security built into those tools where you won't be training on the model, and it will actually not be storing your data like some of these free tools are doing. So that's a really important first step. And with that, if you guys can actually go and deploy those internally, not only are you protecting your data and you're preventing people from using the free tools, you're providing your employees with a way to get all of these benefits that you see on here, all the benefits that I'm talking about. You not only protect your organization, but you enable your organization to have massive gains when it comes to productivity, competitive edge, saving time, all those things. Again, just going back to the analogy, when I talk about AI, we're not trying to make this a big, scary, overarching AI. AI is the buzzword, everything's AI, right? We're talking about using these chatbots that are out there, these tools like in Copilot, like in ChatGPT, just use them like a on-demand intern, an AI intern, or an AI personal assistant. They're just meant to work almost just like a colleague to help you save time. Hey, help me write this, help me do edits on this paper that I just wrote, this blog, help me go create this image for a marketing campaign, help me go do research on a certain topic. That's the kind of interactions that we're looking for here and that we educate on. And all of those are human interactions. This is a very human-centric thing. This is not all about automating away jobs or anything like that. A lot of people have some fear around AI that it leads to, automation, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about empowering employees within your organization to use these tools to be more effective at what they do. And this is just a really good analogy for you to talk about with, the rest of your staff, your organization. Is a good way for you guys to be able to show that these tools is really just an assistant for the individual employee. It's a great way, a great analogy to look at there.
Yeah. One thing that you talked about, the human interaction, if I'm going to write a big prompt, I like to speak it. So I just use my headset and the microphone, and ChatGPT, the paid version, will listen to me, and it's kind of amazing how great of a job it can do to interpret what I'm looking for. A lot of times I'll say, can you explain this in a more simple way? And it's like, wow, that was good.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, Ann, because I actually noticed, and I really didn't think about it too much, but I've noticed myself using voice to text so much more since I started using AI. And I think it's because, like, when you're typing in a Google search, it's got to be so exact how you do it. But when you're typing into AI, it's like I can just talk and it understands what I'm saying, which is really interesting. It's just very easy, just in natural language, to say, hey, I'm looking to write this blog about these topics, can you help me do it? Right? It doesn't need to be as exact as like what typing would be.
Yeah.
Conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes with, and especially with technology phrases, there might be a very specific word that you need that you just might not come to your mind, and that's what you need to do a Google search. Like if you don't search on that exact word, you're not going to find what you're looking for. And I find I speak some of the most garbled things, like there's this concept called this, and I don't know what the word for it is, and you can write this big rambling thing, and it will find the answer.
Absolutely.
It's really cool.
So I think, we have just a couple examples of how this can help your business here. And I think we'll take five minutes to go through this. I know you wanted to save some time for questions, Ann, but I just want to give you guys some examples of how AI can help your business and some things that you guys can do with it. We'll talk about next steps that we have on the platform, just if this is something you're interested in kind of jumping into. But what can AI do for your business? So just some examples here. Employee A spends valuable time on repetitive tasks. AI is really good at automating those tasks. When we say automating, it just means you can just have the AI do that for you. Ask the AI instead of you having to do these repetitive tasks. AI is really good at saving hours in automating those repetitive tasks. Employee B struggles to complete a project involving a skill set they haven't perfected. AI is really good at getting you to the next level. So while you can look at it like an AI intern or personal assistant, this is a personal assistant that has access to all the knowledge of the internet, and it can go and help you complete searches. One of the reasons why the intern analogy is good is because you want to make sure you're double checking their work, double checking the sources, but it is really good at helping you do that research. It's helping you with skills you haven't perfected. For me, slide decks are not something I'm strong at, and never have been, but I'm able to do that now with AI and create these beautiful presentations that I really wasn't able to do before. So just one of these small examples, I also use it for when I'm writing product requirements for our development team. It helps me go and simplify language and go expand on ideas. So it's really just a great colleague in that way. Again, skill sets that you might not have perfected or things that just took a lot of time can really help out with. Employee C has been contemplating switching careers, feeling stuck and underutilized. That employee, after AI, finds new value. One of the reasons why is because it can stop spending time on these repetitive tasks, and it can focus on maybe these higher level opportunities, actually upskilling some of what they did before. The last one here, employee D falls for sophisticated AI phishing scams. If you are implementing AI in your business, if you are educating on AI, if you're using AI, it helps your employees be aware of what the power of these tools are, and it helps them mitigate those risks. Something that is a really powerful piece of actually empowering your employees to use this new technology. It helps protect them from the dangers of the new technology as well. So we'll run through these really quickly. I talked about a couple of these already, but these are just high-level things that you can do with AI that are awesome examples. Some of our other presentations I actually have gone in and gone show how you run some of these, which we can obviously, and we can help you guys out with. I'm sure you guys know some of this already, but we can help you guys show some of your clients this. Marketing competitive analysis is a really good one. If any of you have ever tried to pay for marketing competitive analysis within your local area, within a wider area that you guys sell to, it's expensive. It's really expensive. It takes a long time to do. These tools like ChatGPT, Google, Perplexity, all of them have access to the internet where they're able to scrape tons of data, search through tons of documents, information about an organization, LinkedIn, their website, locations, new posts on Facebook, all of these areas, they're able to search through and actually go and create competitive analysis for your local area, targeted segment that you guys are looking at, and it comes back with a full write-up of what is the analysis of marketing in your area. And you guys can look for specific insights and ask specific questions, but these tools have the ability to do this, and it's really powerful. It's something that we use it for all the time. That, as well as like creating like battle cards and things like that, and competitor analysis. It's really powerful to do that.
Yeah, I'd say this is such a hot area, and I'd love to talk more with folks in our community about this, because this is like the prime, like goes right into our mission of get more from the technology you have. Because once you start playing around with, like, I just resonate with everything that you just said. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And you gotta check the facts, and it's an intern, but
Yep.
it really does a lot of legwork.
Yep. And that's the key with this, is some people get turned away because they'll go see, well, that piece is wrong, that piece of information is wrong. But like an intern and like an assistant that you're working with, check the sources, check the facts, do your legwork while you're building this out, but it gets you, 95% of the way there, and then you do the checks and edit it and get an awesome finished result. So we do that a lot. Another example here is sales prospect research. Our sales team uses this all the time. We're talking our own book here, but anytime we go and talk to a new client, we're going to go and do some research about them before, so we can have an actionable conversation that's actually relatable to that sales prospect. We want to make sure that we're not wasting their time, So we're going to look up their organization. These tools have a really good ability to go look up information about not only Breach Secure Now, but the prospect I'm talking to, and help find synergies between the two to new things in the news about that prospect, right? Maybe information about who the key points of contact are. These are really powerful in a sales conversation. So for those of you that have a high sales focused team, this could be a really valuable resource for you. Last one is image generation. I told you guys I use this to build out whole slide decks. You guys can use this for infographics, PDFs. You guys can use it just for images to go post on your social media. This one is super important for our marketing team. Our marketing team has become so much more powerful with their ability to use AI to get out information. This is another example of something a year ago, right? The image generation was okay, it was slow. It always changed things. It has gotten so much better now. These images are almost virtually perfect. You can change small things and then they look cool. You have the ability to put any kind of branding on them that you would like. Very powerful tool to help you up your ability to market and anything else that includes branding or images that you need. One of the cool things that are coming out too with image generation or with AI generation, videos. And I have a lot of small organizations that are actually now able to do video marketing, which they were never able to do before. So, you know, that could be the local dentist's office is able to do video marketing now, which they weren't paying for before. But those videos they can post on social media and they can get huge traction. So just another powerful way that these tools can help you. We have a 5-step adoption process at Breach Secure Now that we use internally. We have partners using it now. We have clients using it now. It includes everything that's on our platform. Everything that you see here are resources that we can provide to you to be successful. You know, top down. The first one is a little bit more difficult to help you guys, but we can help you with email templates and resources. Backed by leadership is so important. You want to make sure that you're bought in, for your employees to be bought in. It is a lead by example. Our CEO, Art Gross, took that leadership 2 years ago and asked us to bring this technology with us everywhere. And we did, and we tested it out. It really helps you find new use cases when you go and just test it out. As, hey, I'm gonna go write a blog today. Let's go try to use AI with it. Leading by example and using it yourself is a great way to get started. The other ones here, establish an AI acceptable use policy. What are the do's and don'ts of using AI? We have a policy template on our platform. AI awareness training, we talked about a lot. Ongoing training is so important here because these tools change all the time. And then we recommend regular AI sharing sessions and incentivizing participation. We do a bi-weekly call where we actually will share different use cases of how we use AI internally. It's a great way to show other team members of how you're using AI to inspire them for new ways that they can utilize these tools too. And then always, like you saw with the ESS, we are big into incentivizing participation. We run a challenge internally every month to find a new AI innovator of the month. Basically, we'll collect use cases, and the person with the best use case, we'll give a prize to. We'll post on social media, but it's a great way to get people engaged and constantly finding new ways to use these tools. Again, all of these resources to go and start this adoption we have at BSN. If this is something you guys are interested in, we do have our AI Readiness Innovation Assessment, which is just a way for you guys to get kickstarted and can probably help you guys out with getting this in your organization. But this is a great way for you guys to get started with AI. It's just going to give you assessment that's basically where are we in terms of how ready are we to launch AI in our business? How much can AI have immediate benefits for us? And it also provides some practical examples of how you guys can start using AI, like the ones that I just went through. Great way to get started. It takes you 10 minutes to complete an assessment like this. Really easy. So I highly recommend if this is something that you're interested in getting started, if you want to start down that journey, this is a great place to start with this assessment. And with that, guys, I think we have some time for questions, but I really would love to hear from you all. We want you to get engaged on the platform. We're here to help. Anne's team is here to help as well. There's a ton of resources that we have to make sure you guys are successful, and you guys have a lot at your fingertips to help empower your employees.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. I'm just so impressed with everything new that's coming out, and you guys are really embracing the AI, the impact on cybersecurity, the training. One question that we get a lot, acceptable use policies. You mentioned an AI that you have some templates on the site. I don't know if you have a second to show where they are or just explain, because that's something we get a lot of questions about from clients, at least so they can get started.
Yeah, let's see if I can open a browser real quickly. The portal.
Yeah, if you can't actually get to where they are, maybe you could just describe like some highlights.
Yeah, we do have an acceptable use policy. You guys absolutely have access to it with the BPP. I think I can show you a version of it real quick, but it's in the templates platform.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so if you guys go into My Company, you guys will have access to this tab, My Company, and you go to Documents. There are a ton of policy templates right here. One of the first ones that you'll see in here, actually, it's sorted by category. You guys can filter too. There's a filter up here. Artificial intelligence, AI acceptable use policy. Again, this is just meant to help you guys with the do's and don'ts of using AI. We have it laid out for you. You guys just need to plug and play with the tools that you are approving as an acceptable tool. And again, like I said, usually those are the paid versions of one of these tools. Get the paid version of ChatGPT or the paid version of Copilot, and you can put that as, now this is an acceptable tool. This is where you can utilize, certain information. While free tools, we cannot put in company IP, we cannot put in client information. This is where you can define that, and you can share that with the rest of your organization.
Yeah, this is a great, because people ask us a lot about templates, and obviously you got to put some work in and make it align to your organization, but that's a very long list of stuff that our community has available, like right now.
Yep.
And just before I forget, I put 2 handouts in the window here. There's a ChatGPT fundamental syllabus, so folks can get some examples of what's included in there, and also the BSN updated employee checklist for employees, like how do employees engage. We often get cyber insurance companies, that's like it's a question right on the application is going to talk about, do you conduct cybersecurity awareness training? How often? We're seeing folks dig in more and more. It's going to affect your premium. So the more cybersecurity controls you put in place, the better premium you're going to get. And it's also going to make the difference between being insurable or not. And that's really want to make sure people go beyond a checkbox like, yeah, you have it, you got to use it. What are some of the, with AI and phishing, are there any like crazy examples you've seen or anything that stands out like, wow, that's new?
Yeah, we've seen, so I talked about like the basics of grammar before. These emails all look perfect now. There's not really going to be any grammatical mistakes. But what we're seeing is that impersonation aspect is really scary. It's not as much phishing emails, but what we see it is scam calls. The calls are really, really convincing, where you can use voice changing and impersonate somebody, but also it's a mix of not only the ability to impersonate somebody's voice, but the ability to do research on an individual using these tools and be able to target somebody so exactly, like, and you have a very popular LinkedIn, right? You can find out a lot of information about you. I'm sure a lot of the people on the call, right, have very active social media, or social, why am I blanking on the word? So social media,
presence or
Facebook or LinkedIn, right? And if you can go and search that information effectively with one of these tools, you can go learn a lot of information about somebody, and then you can go use that in a scam. So they'll use AI to go do the research. They'll use AI to go run the actual phone scam. And then once they get
Yeah.
access, they're able to use AI to go launch these attacks. And we were actually talking about it before the call, and what these
Yeah.
people are using now. You don't need to be a hacker or a programmer in order to launch these attacks. No code is needed for these people a lot of times be able to go utilize malicious software.
Yeah.
So it's scary how fast a cyber criminal can upskill themselves to be able to leverage this technology. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said before, it's like makes my job easier, makes their job really easy, right?
Yeah, it's the cat and mouse game, but we're
Yeah.
almost to the top of the hour. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, it's just really exciting. It's a great refresher for me, and I hope that our community got a lot out of this. And we're happy to just book a review with anybody. Just if anybody in the community who has questions, we can also get the team from BSN to help us out as well, answer any questions, because we really want to make sure folks get the value out of this and really build a strong organization and leverage technology. So thank you so much, Chris. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you having me on, and please let us know if you need anything else. We love to do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.